To get 500 pounds, she sold herself twice to a rich businessman. The first time was 3 nights at a hotel.
Fire gives more light than one expects. Does it trouble you?
She is simple and has never experienced many incidents, just to repay my father's debt, and she turned her back on him, with complex expressions. It seems he also has his own unspeakable secrets. Perhaps because of similar situations, the 3 days ended in a secret meeting, has created vague emotions in each person's soul. Emotions that cannot be expressed in words.
I don't want to know your name. I don't want to know anything about you.
10个月后，
She was in excruciating pain. She gave birth to a daughter, but before I could see it, the child was rushed away. This is their second transaction. In this transaction, she promised never to see her child again. But as time passed, the diary records the wishes and blessings for her daughter. Thicker and thicker, the content gradually changed from happy birthday to you. When can I see my baby?
I don't forget you.
After 7 years of searching, Laurel has traveled all over the world. She finally knows her daughter's location. It happened that the other side was recruiting tutors. And with his knowledge and insight, she successfully got this position. While chatting with the servant, Laurel learns her daughter's name is Louisa. At the same time, she also discovered it. When it comes to Louisa, everyone here seems a bit scared. Even hate.
Master bought from a gypsy for half a crown. Thinks she's quite a little lady, but she don't fool me.
After finding out her daughter's location, Laurel couldn't hold back her nostalgia and quickly went there. Opened the glass door. What appeared in sight was a communal house in the middle of the lake. And the person sitting inside, that was the girl she missed countless days and nights. The little panic. She quickly avoided entering the room. Through the snow full of glass, quietly looking at that figure from far to very close. Anxious, emotional, guilty, full of anticipation. She doesn't know how to cope. She could only restrain the emotions in her heart. Pretend like you're meeting for the first time.
Who are you?
Miss Laurier.
Your new governess.
Then bugger away, lady.
Her eyebrows furrowed slightly. Arrogant and rude. She seemed to understand why the servants were afraid of the baby, and the man spoiled his daughter like that. Laurel stood in front of the window, looked at his daughter gracefully stepping on his shoulder. With a happy face. And a smile on my lips. At least the child has enjoyed enough love from the father. With an anxious heart, Laurel took a deep breath. Go downstairs. Appears in Charles' vision. But when I saw that face clearly, the smile on Charles' face gradually stiffened. With it comes panic. He took Laurel to the office. He sternly asked her why she was here. And hoped she leaves quickly.
I wanted an heir. I wanted a child. Is that so wrong?
I swear to you, no one will ever learn the truth from me, not even Louisa.
Faced with Laurel's repeated requests, Charles didn't want to hear the explanation. He found the butler, hoping to fire Laurel immediately. But the housekeeper explained, by agreement, dismissal must be announced 1 month in advance. With no other choice, Charles had to temporarily compromise. He took Laurel into a room. In the room there was a paralyzed woman lying on the bed. It was the wife Charles had cared for 10 years. He asked Laurel to take the oath here. We'll forever keep it a secret between the two of them. Only then did Laurel understand. This is why they met each other several years ago. The reason she and Charles met. Perhaps because of lack of motherly love. Laurel soon discovers that Louisa's problem isn't just being messy. Simultaneously, it is also accompanied by loneliness and apathy rarely seen in people of the same age.
You're poor, I suppose.
Yes?
I don't have to do what you say.
She also found, as long as Louisa's father is not at home, Louisa will hide alone in a hut in the middle of the lake. For the baby it seems, it is a place with special meaning. Realize the severity of your daughter's problem. Laurel went to Charles. Hopefully more serious educational measures can be applied. But this proposal was verbally rejected by Charles. Lessons do not bring joy. Why does the baby have to endure them? Charles doesn't know. Laurel's words were not meant for consultation. Which is just an announcement. Let Louisa calm down and study. Laurel locks the baby in the room and set a rule that the child will only go out after school. Immediately after hearing the scream, Charles rushed over. He angrily ordered Laurel to open the door.
Did you ever grow up ignorant and friendless?
And not have her imprisoned.
She cares for no one but you, and so no one cares for her.
见命令行不通。
Charles started stealing the keys. To protect the healthy development of girls, Laurel resisted and pushed him away.
You want her to love you. I want her to be loved. She won't have you forever.
Charles ultimately chose to compromise. How could he not know? His daughter's personality has gone to extremes. Lack of support from father. Louisa simply lay on the ground without saying a word. The little girl spilled the lunch that was just delivered to her to express inner opposition and dissatisfaction. But Laurel did not give in.
If you won't eat, then neither will I.
僵持之中，
After seeing Louisa calm down, Laurel easily asked about the house in the middle of the lake. But unexpectedly, this question made Louisa explode again. The girl warned Laurel not to go near that place. Otherwise, Laurel will be responsible for the consequences. Just finished speaking, eyes attracted by the exquisite paintings on the table.
What are these stupid lessons anyway?
Louisa loves Papa. Louisa loves grass.
Interesting image combination. Immediately, Louisa's interest was awakened. The girl thought for a bit and create a new combination for images.
Papa loves sheep. You see, it's not hard.
That evening, Laurel goes to Louisa's room, kiss her lightly on the cheek. Only when the girl is sleeping, she just dared to show it off. Motherly love is buried deep in my heart, because every time I study, Louisa always had to stay away from her father. The girl naturally thought, father is becoming a stranger to me, and the culprit is Laurel.
Servant, 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 servant.
Laurel said nothing. Throw the paint bottle on the table at the girl. She then picked up another bottle and threw it in her own face.
I'm not a servant. I'm a prisoner. So will you be when you grow up. If you marry, everything you own will become the property of your husband. If you don't marry, every profession will be closed to you but one. And that one is a life of loneliness and humiliation. They lock you up, Louisa. But there's one door they can't lock. They can't imprison your mind. And that's why I want you to learn to read. I want you to have your own life.
She also didn't understand what Laurel was saying at this time, but don't understand why. Look at the woman. Tears rolled down the corner of my eyes. The girl felt it. Care and love are completely different from the care of a father. Afterward, Louisa's attitude has changed. She is no longer proud of her affection, rough and insolent. But you can sit still at the table, study all day. When the lonely void is filled, Louisa's closed heart gradually opened a window for Laurel. By the fire she spoke to Laurel. The sick woman is not his biological mother.
Yes, I know.
My real mother's not sick.
Where is she?
And it's a secret.
Do you ever see her?
Of course, every day.
What do you do with her?
Just be with her.
At this moment, Laurel finally understood. It turned out to be a small pavilion in the middle of the lake. That's where Louisa missed her mother. And now she is sitting next to the baby. But I can't tell her the truth. Laurel's intelligence and resilience quickly won everyone's hearts, including Charles's friends who are coming to visit. She didn't hesitate. Show your appreciation for Laurel. Hope to develop a relationship with her. Charles listened and gave a slight smile. Little did he know that an insecurity had crept into his heart.
Leave tomorrow. I don't have that much time.
You better ask her then.
The next day, the friend found Laurel alone. He gets straight to the point. Express your feelings directly. Ask Laurel if he'll marry him. The man was even richer than Charles. That's Laurel's better choice at the moment. But she still chose to refuse. Watch your friend leave. Charles turned around and took a deep breath. Only then did he realize. It turned out that the relationship was vague 7 years ago. It has never disappeared in my heart. That night Charles called Laurel. Asked tentatively why. She rejected her friend. Laurel says it's because of Louisa. Listen to this answer. A bit of disappointment flashed in Charles's eyes.
The fire gives more light than one expects, doesn't it?
As soon as these words came out, a smile gradually appeared at the corner of Laurel's mouth, and Charles looked at her. Thinking seems to go back to 7 years ago.
The fire gives more light than one expects.
Eye to eye. Fragile feelings are deeply engraved in the hearts of two people. This moment is magnified immensely, but unfortunately, the appearance of the butler broke that passionate atmosphere. Once the fire of love has been lit, it will burn even more strongly. She cannot be extinguished. It's not something that can be controlled with restraint. One day after finishing school, Laurel covered her daughter with a blanket. Meet Charles again in the office. He started asking about the girl's recent study situation. Then in the faint firelight, he mentioned what happened 7 years ago. Charles felt. My feelings for Laurel are increasingly difficult to control. He wants to end this relationship. but at the same time he had high expectations.
Just tell me that time is over and can never come again.
Charles doesn't know. Is Laurel holding back her emotions? When they face each other and look at each other, the essence of every conversation becomes blurred. This page of the story is intended to be romantic and light. Early the next morning, it is snowing heavily outside the house. Laurel looked up and joined in the long howl. The sadness and helplessness lie deep in the heart. It all flares up now. Just when the feelings between them heat up quickly, Charles's father returns home. He saw it immediately. The relationship between his son and Laurel was not simple. But he didn't say anything. Instead, he found Laurel alone. Then tell her.
Good for you, Missy. Good for you. You're right, of course. He's my boy.
Charles is always outside the room. Saw Laurel go out of the room. The two of them said nothing, just standing close together, hands clasped tightly together. This scene was just in time seen by Louisa from afar. The girl ran away sadly, hidden again in that communal house in the middle of the lake. Laurel looked at the girl from afar. She knew Louisa was thinking about her mother again.
Pretends she has a mother there.
I know, we're all pretending.
Look at his lonely daughter. Charles was also very sad in his heart. I've thought about that countless times. Just take your daughter and Laurel and get out of here. Don't worry about anything. But the reality is, whether for family or loved ones, he has responsibilities that need to be faced. Early the next morning, Louisa opened the door. I saw Laurel lying next to her father. The girl didn't make any noise. Do not angry, just close the door gently. Walk quietly towards the lake. At this time, she thought her father had abandoned her. The girl also abandoned her biological mother. Step on thin ice. In her heart, she wanted to talk to her mother. The little girl did not know that her biological mother was behind her.
Louisa! Come back! It's not safe! Louisa, don't leave me!
The ice chain is broken. Laurel's heart sank. She ran towards the lake, ignoring everything. She endured the pain. Breaks the sharp ice with his body. Immerse yourself in a cold lake. Rescue Louis from danger. Return to room. Laurel stroked her daughter's forehead. Kiss the girl on the cheek. Then say softly, never leave me alone.
Never.
Laurel doesn't know. Louisa really doesn't sleep. She quietly looked at the figure in front of her who was lighting the fire. A bold guess appeared in her mind. Soon after, due to Charles's father's wasteful spending, the family is heavily in debt. Even this house will soon be forcibly evicted. This also makes sense. The future of the Charles family. It will be a very difficult life. The wife was paralyzed in bed. That night Charles sat next to his wife for a long time. He has taken care of his wife for 10 years. But you never know. Does your wife want to live this way? And while you're suffering, is your wife feeling the same hardship? After a long period of silence, Charles stood up and extinguished it like fire. Opened the window. Finally, he lifted the cotton blanket from his wife's hands. The next day, his wife left this world. Everyone accepts this truth normally. With him, this can be a relief. And Laurel has been waiting for that love for 7 years. When this funeral is over, finally saw the morning light. Simultaneously, Louisa, who had doubts, go to Laurel's room. After a while of searching, the girl opened the diary on the table. And that bold guess. There is an answer at this time.
Why did you give me away?
I didn't. I sought you.
How much for?
£500.
Is that a lot?
It's a fortune.
I'm glad it was a lot.
Laurel leaned down and kissed her gently. Then she picked Louisa up. And the mother's voice she wanted to hear in her dream. This moment is finally as gentle as the sound of a silver bell. Life is sometimes so long that there is always an unforeseen intrusion. We often comfort ourselves. Time can heal everything. But at the same time, hold on to the past and not let go. Try being a little brave and honest. Try to look deep into your soul. Try skipping people and events that should have ended. Try to seize the opportunity to neutralize the current situation. Only such time becomes a good medicine. Spring's late arrival can also melt ice that has been cold for a long time.